Kwasi here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can actually become a master of your reality only if you understand how the cause and effect relationship works and why most people fail at effectively creating their realities because they get too drawn in to the effect rather than actually being at the cause. And by the end of this video, you're going to find out the 2 keys that you need to make this an absolute reality in your life. Before I begin this video, I wanted to quickly announce that I'm doing a free giveaway of my book, Life Mastery. If you want to enroll into a competition to win this book for completely free at the end of the week in the ebook format, just comment Life Mastery down below. And every single Friday, we'll be picking one lucky winner to get this book for completely free. Also, I'm super excited to announce that the free one-to-one consult for the Reality Mastery program is now open. So wait till the end of the video for the announcement on how to enroll. So with that, let's get started with this video. Now, in this video, I want to talk to you about the cause and effect relationship. Now, why do I even talk about this? Well, this is something that's very personal to me because I saw that because I wasn't understanding the cause and effect relationship, I was letting effect bend out and make cause happen. So this is why people live in a perpetual cycle over and over again. Because what they see, they think is their reality, and then they feed it back into it, and then they see more of it, and then they feed it back into it, and then this actually becomes more and more consolidated. And it's difficult to break free from it, okay? And I saw that whether this be me transitioning out from a professional career in engineering, I was only worthy of the cubicle back then, and I couldn't even fathom starting my own business. That 3-4 months from now, I would be doing my own business, and I'd be making $80K a month doing something that I love. And all of this change happened really fast. So that seems like a life that was in the past, right? So in this video, I want to share with you how exactly that happened and how to get yourself so you can reprogram this subconscious mind to actually start believing in the possibility of you being in a completely different place, getting absolute transformational results within a span of 4 to 6 months. Okay, so with that, I want to share with you first that what inspired this video was understanding the mirror principle of reality. The more and more I studied it, the more and more you see that there are dichotomies to life, right? And the main dichotomy that makes this cause and effect relationship a reality is, first of all, understanding that there is what is known as an internal world, and there is also what is known as an external world. Now, everything that you see in your external world is just a manifestation of what's already true in your internal world. Okay, so part of this is part of a collective unconsciousness. Okay, if you look at life, how it evolved was everything is dancing in the lap of nothingness. Everything that is physical and material has all come from absolute nothingness. Okay, it's a manifestation of one energy into different forms. If you look at this whiteboard, right, it's a particular formation of energy. If you look at, a rock, that's another manifestation, another way, a grosser manifestation of energy. What you call as your consciousness, your mind, is another manifestation of energy. So these are all manifestations of energy. Waves, light, all alike. They're just different manifestations of the same energy. Okay, and science has recently started to prove this, but if you look at the ancient books, yogic knowledge, they knew that from the start. So it's just one energy manifesting itself into different forms. When life began, it initially began with nothingness. Then nothingness evolved into awareness. Awareness evolved into energy. Energy evolved into the mind, and then the mind created the body. Okay? This is why this mind-body is connected together. So once you understand that which creates the physical, which is really that which is immaterial, the internal, then you can start to play with the real mechanics of life and create it the way that you would want. So when you understand that your internal world actually creates your external world, a lot of problems are solved, right? Because now you no longer keep fighting. The biggest problem people face is overcoming that which they're seeing in the external right now. Currently, they're seeing a lot of bills, they're seeing a lot of scarcity, they're seeing a lack of money, and then they think that, If there's poverty all around me, that must mean I'm poor. So in their internal world, they start to think they're poor. But what I want you to know is that brokenness is a temporary state. Not having enough money, not having the kind of money you want, the kind of luxury you want. This is just a temporary state. You may be hitting 20 to 30 to 40K, 50K in your business right now. That's a current state, right? That's just your current reality. This isn't end all be all. But once you start to let it affect the cause, what actually causes reality, that's when it becomes a huge problem, right? So anything that you are seeing right now in your physical material world is a delayed manifestation of that which was in your internal world. This is where the delay comes in. So if you look at life, it works in a mirror, okay? And there is one side of the mirror, which is the internal world, and the other side of the mirror, which is the external world. We look too much at the external world, and then we start to think that, oh, wow, I am poor, right? Instead of looking at that which might give us proof that we are rich, we have potential to be rich, we look at that which is predominant right now, because that's how our minds have been focused. We start to focus on things that our reticular activating system has been programmed to notice. Right? If you've been told your whole life that you're fat and ugly, you're going to start looking for proof that you're fat and ugly. Oh, that one person left a comment on my Instagram post. He said that I'm fat and ugly. See, I'm fat and ugly. But then there could be 10 people saying that you're beautiful, you're awesome, you're amazing. You completely ignore those. You only look for that affirms your insecurity, because the insecurity has been programmed in your reticular activating system. So you just look at the external world and then you let it feed back into your internal world. You look at the effect and you let it feed back into the cause. This is what's keeping you stuck at where you are right now. This is why I stayed stuck for a very long time before I even made the leap to start my own business, right? And unless and until you can use this internal to influence the external, you will always be a slave to life, and you will always call it fate, right? So understand the delay principle. Everything you're experiencing right now in your material reality, it's all the past. The past internal actions that you've had, the past karma that you had. Karma literally means action. They're all crafting what you're seeing right now. But the thoughts and attitudes you have today are going to influence what you experience tomorrow. Okay, so you got to really think about this long term. This is why most people fail with business. They do business as though they're just going to die tomorrow. But if you want to do business, you got to do business as though you're going to live forever. Okay? Because business is a long-term game. It's not a short-term game. You got to live your life as though it's a long-term game. Okay? Anything that you create in your life, you're looking at the sustainable longer term rather than getting a short-term lottery win. Okay? Any work that you do now, it's going to compound on itself. I want you to remember that. So the internal world influences the external world. Now, what I want you to know is that you can also use the external to influence your internal, but only when it serves you, okay? So let's say you're crafting some attitude and some thought here right now. What you're going to do when you do that, when you say an affirmation, when you do a visualization, when you want to experience something, you're actually launching a new design. This is you launching a new design. New design is launched, okay? And when you launch this new design, reality starts to give you little hints of where this could be true. But then if you start focusing on when this is not true, then you're going to break the game again. What you got to do, your mission is to ignore all of that and focus on this new reality being launched. Example, Quasi wants to make 100K a month this month, and he has a $12,000 day, right? And I say, wow. I had a $12,000 day last week. I hit 25K. I'm at 50K. It's the middle of the month. I am going to hit 100K this month. Wow, it's a reality. Then it starts to happen, right? I look for proof, and now what I'm doing is I'm actually confirming this, which brings me to the second part. Initially, Quasi launched the thought, the plan, that he wants to hit 100K month this month. And as he goes through the month, good things happen. He starts signing clients. He starts making a 25K week, a 12K day. Now, when that proof happens, he notices it and he rewards it. And now this actual effect feeds back into the cause and it makes an adjustment to the design. So your key here is to launch a new design and look for proof where this is becoming a reality so you can adjust it and make adjustments to this design. Okay? So this is how you can actually use this cycle to take you to your goal. This is ultimately going to take you to the goal, right? So before we move on to the next part of this, the 3 key things you got to remember is reality can be influenced by you and your internal world. But right now, most of us are letting some of the past influence what we feel now, and we stay stuck in this perpetual cycle. This is because of the delay principle of reality. Anything material you see on the other side of the mirror, it takes some time, because in the internal world, your shift happens very, very quickly. It happens instantaneously. But this shift doesn't last because you start to look at external world and you see, oh, nothing's going my way, because you've been programmed like this. So you keep suffering the past. Unless and until you can learn to ignore what's going on right now and still have this be a complete reality in your internal world, it won't show up. Right? You got to keep up the thoughts and attitudes for long enough for it to show up in your reality. All right? So this is also, you got to remember, you can use the effect to influence cause when you launch a new design and you want to adjust this design. Okay? Adjust and consolidate this design. So now let's get to the 2 keys that's going to help you make this a complete reality in your life. Okay, so key number 1 is you gotta learn not to get attached to the external circumstances. And this is absolutely key, because the more you get attached to the external circumstances, the more you're going to draw your internal state from without, rather than from within. Okay? So this is when you lose control and you become unconscious and you fall asleep. When you fall asleep, you're a slave to your circumstances. Okay? External things will start to control you. Key number 2, notice and reward what you actually like. Only. Okay? You only notice and reward what you like, and you ignore all else. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, this is what I'm talking about when I say you use the effect to influence the cause so that it builds up and consolidate what you've initially launched. Okay? So let's say I have a terrible day. Let's say I have this 100K month, right? I launch a new design. I say, okay, Kwasi's going to have a $100,000 month this month in his business. And then I have a $25,000 week. I'm like, wow, cool. If I have just 4 of those, I can get to 100K month. And then I have a $12,000 day. I'm like, fucking fantastic. This is going really well. I'm actually adjusting the design, consolidating it. And let's say next day someone refunds, right? Someone refunds and let's say I lose like 5K. And now I'm like, oh shit, well, I just lost 5K. Oh no, what if it doesn't happen? What if it doesn't happen? What I'm doing right now is I'm actually going back, right? I'm erasing all the progress I made. And I'm not rewarding what I like. I'm actually putting attention onto what I don't like. So your quality of your attention is positive and negative. They both have the power to influence your reality. Only when you neutrally observe something, it no longer has power to create and attract. So if I were to have a $5,000 refund in this month, something goes terribly wrong, oh, my Facebook ads get disapproved, instead of reacting to it, I just notice it and ignore it, right? I deal with it. Doesn't mean you don't deal with the problems you're having in your life. You deal with it, but dispassionately. You no longer put too much attention on it. Because the more attention you put on it, the more it influences the cause. Right? So going back to this, if I put positive attention on it and negative attention on it, this has the power to influence the internal world. But what you want to do is cut out the negative attention and only put positive attention on it. Right? So reality doesn't distinguish between positive and negative. It just sees the emotional intensity. Okay? And there is a presence of emotional intensity or an absence of emotional intensity. So there is either neutral or attracting. So when you react negatively to something, you still attract it. When you react positively to something, you attract it. When you ignore it, you don't attract it. It has no power over you. Okay, so What you got to do is ignore. The second key is ignoring anything that doesn't serve you. And then it no longer feeds into the cause. And with that, I conclude this video. So just to recap the gist of this video, you have to understand this important cycle, which is the internal and the external. The internal actually creates the external, but we're using the external to feed into the internal. Cause feeds back into effect. This can be a good thing, but this can also be a terrible thing if you focus on the wrong things, right? So why this happens is because we're living the past right now. This is because of the delay principle of reality. Anything that's material shows up after a delay. Any thoughts and attitudes you have right now are going to influence what you experience tomorrow. I want you to be very mindful of that. And then we discussed the two keys. And first of which is don't get too attached to the external. Remember that the external is influenced by the internal. And second, only notice and reward what you actually would like to see in your life. Ignore all else and deal with them as necessary in a dispassionate manner. And with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope you liked it. I hope you benefited from it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you leave me a comment and also like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this, if you actually like this, and if you would like me to make more of stuff like this as well. And I'm super excited to announce that I mentioned before, the free one-to-one consult for the Reality Mastery program is now open. If you'd like to enroll for that, make sure you click on the link in the description below. Also, please only enroll if you're serious about working together and taking your life up to the next level. If you'd just like to have a conversation with me, please do not enroll. You can go to the Facebook group down in the link below, and I'll see you there. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.